Trying to spoil
He's
it.
in, he's in.
We did it. We did it.
Oh,
Right.
sick.
Hello, everyone. So, we've spent like half an hour trying to get this sorted. As we haven't done this for a while, we're going to do another podcast. So, the two sides for this debate. So it's like the Ted Hammond and Willie debate, except this one is Mr. Bean an alien? Yes or no? Has anyone got TV audio on?
No.
No.
I just said an Xbox noise. Right. So, will the alien contenders say their names? Like, will introduce yourself?
Yeah.
We have Who else is an alien? Is it Jamie? You alien or human?
No. No, I'm alien.
So we have Edward and Adam on the alien side, and me and Jamie on the
Wedge.
human side. Not human because he's obviously not very sane, but more mentally deranged or handicapped. So, does anyone want to start off with a point, and then we'll,
Yeah.
go back and forth?
Okay. So I mean, there's a pretty obvious thing. First of all, at the beginning of episode 2 onwards, Mr. Bean falls from the sky in a beam of light, accompanied by a choir, singing "Ecce homo qui est faba," which suggests that he's dropping from an alien spacecraft. Furthermore, in the animated series episode Double Trouble, he's taken inside a spacecraft with aliens who look exactly like him, and then they send him back in a beam of light with the same music. So that's basically the first bit of episode.
Edward,
Wait,
how
they
are
went
you
before the
sure?
intro.
How are you sure that episode of the Mr. Bean show where he gets dropped
In
in by
his
the
head.
beam of light is not him being unabducted by the aliens or is being dropped off? It could just be a live action bit of a show.
Because
Consequently, they could have just found Mr. Bean as someone who looks exactly like them and could have assumed he was one of them. That's why he was booted off the ship.
Yeah.
They
I
realised he
find it
wasn't.
very weird that he would look exactly like a group of aliens, behaves in a
Maybe the
really
aliens
weird
abducted
way.
him and then took on
It would
his
just
form.
be coincidence, wouldn't it?
I don't think
Unless
that.
Mr. Bean could have been genetically cloned by the government to
Exactly,
mimic
yeah, he
these
could.
aliens.
I mean, do you have any evidence of that?
It's not like the aliens are going about in secret. They're just hovering about.
I
Perhaps
give you
government
evidence,
is
right? I think
just
it's more
mirroring Mr.
likely.
Bean was a failed project.
I think it's more likely he's just an alien rather than he's like some government conspiracy thing.
I reckon his name used to be Mr. Beta, and he's just taking it as Mr. Bean because he heard it because he's retarded.
Maybe he was abducted by aliens, and then they looked at him as a model human, and then took on his form to they took on his form so they could blend in with humanity, and it's like an alien invasion sort of thing.
I mean, that's arguing for my point, right?
No, because he's
Maybe
still
he is an
human.
alien.
He's still human.
I
Not an
mean,
He's
alien.
still
he's
human. It's just the aliens are mimicking him.
Do you have any like evidence of him being human though? Like, is there anything in the whole thing?
I mean, he has a girlfriend.
He does human things. He has a girlfriend.
Yeah, he has an
But
apartment.
equally, he
he
does
rents
lots
a
of
flat.
alien things. How does he have
Right.
such little understanding of how society works?
Exactly, and
in his head.
he doesn't speak English either. Like,
Yeah,
He does speak English in some of the episodes, actually.
In some
yeah,
of the episodes,
but he finds it very
exactly.
difficult.
They suggest that he's got some sort of like social disability, like he's got severe autism.
Yeah,
He can
but
barely
severe
speak,
autism-
but he can
Do you
speak.
not find it? I find it less likely that they would make
Mr. Bean doesn't talk. Mr. Bean doesn't talk to other people, but in episodes you can hear him quietly talking in fluent English to his teddy bear, because that's his safe place.
I find it unlikely that they would make a television show making fun of disabled people, basically. I find it more likely that they would have
because they
him
don't-
being an
I would
alien.
make a
bring
show
it up.
like that.
Yeah,
Don't bring
but
it up.
I mean,
It's the 70s. It's very plausible.
look, the animated show was going on in like the 2000s, right?
We're not just going to change the Mr. Bean character because it's woke.
You're woke.
No, like the. I mean, I don't think they changed it. I think it was always an alien.
They didn't. Mr. Bean was never an alien.
Mr. Bean, there's like a famous fan theory though that he is an alien, like he got abducted and
Essentially,
It
in
comes
some of the
out
Mr. Bean
in
movies,
beam
Mr. Bean
of
shows
light.
empathy towards a lost child who lost his father on the
Right.
train, helps him,
Wait, are you
and helps return the child to his
saying
father.
aliens can't feel empathy? Are you saying aliens can't feel empathy?
And
The
also
aliens in the Mr. Bean TV show didn't show empathy. They didn't
I
show
mean,
human emotions
in that
in one
episode,
episode-
he didn't show empathy either.
in one episode of
I
Mr.
don't
Bean
think-
as
yeah, it
well,
could-
he has like 25 different versions of himself. How is like that's got to be alien technology?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can think of this as being real, right? There's fundamentally to this argument two sides. There's real, and there's in his head or made up. Like, who's to say that the animated show is not real Mr. Bean imagining his life as an animated show? You know, like, because people who have mental problems like that see things on TV and they think that it's real, and maybe he thinks that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you do see him watch TV quite a bit in the animated show.
And if he was really
I-
mentally challenged and all these things, then surely he would imagine those things as real and like he would imagine them as plausible.
Well, this.
In one episode of the
okay.
animated show, Mr. Bean watches a horror movie, and he then vividly imagines that dinosaurs and aliens are chasing him
Okay,
down and
I
stuff.
have a question. If he has such firm delusions, then how did he get this far ahead in his life to the point at which we start watching him? How did he have an apartment and a girlfriend?
Perhaps, because it's all in his head, perhaps Mr. Bean is in an insane asylum. He's just passing the time. That's how he spends
could
his
be-
day in, day out in an illusion.
It could
I
be
mean-
like American Psycho. American Psycho is a fucking he's a Wall Street investor. He's one of the richest men in the country. You know, Mr. Bean could be just in as successful as everyone else, and he could be living in his own head half the time.
I mean, how did he do that though? How
Perhaps
did he
Mr.
get
Bean
those
was
things?
abused as a child. Perhaps he was mentally,
Yeah,
perhaps
that doesn't
physically
explain how
abused
he
as a
got his
child.
apartment. That
And
doesn't
that's
explain
why-
how he got his apartment.
Because he's moved out from his parents, and now he's finally deciding to have an experience of his childhood by acting like a child.
Oh, like he's doing all of this deliberately.
Yeah,
But didn't you
He's
say he's
doing all
mentally
this-
deranged?
to have a sense of a normal life. Because he lived his childhood as an adult, essentially.
I guess that's possible. I feel like you'd have to explain the
That's why he keeps his teddy with him.
alien. I feel like you'd have to explain the alien connection. Perhaps the aliens observed a human child, and
Perhaps
that's
the
where they
aliens
got their.
are just
Can
a
I
coincidence.
also ask, like, how has Mr. Bean consistently been the same age for like over 40 years?
True.
Because it's inside of his head. Because it's a dream.
Where's the evidence that it's inside of his head, though?
Yeah.
The fact that he never really
Yeah,
speaks
don't know how
too
long the
much
show's
unless
been on.
necessary.
The show's
And
been
I
when
mean,
on
you're
that
for a
could
while.
thinking of
also
a
be explained
situation
by
in
the
your head,
alien.
you don't exactly imagine yourself having huge dialogue. You know what's going on, and the events that
All of
happen are
that could be-
absurd.
All of that could also be explained by aliens.
It could be
Yeah,
explained
but-
by aliens.
And-
You can say
and
that, but on a
aliens-
more realistic standpoint, Mr. Bean is a mental patient.
Okay, so what we have here is there's the mental patient theory, which isn't like even slightly referenced in the entire course of the show, or an equally valid alien theory, which is mentioned. To me, there's like slightly more evidence for the alien one.
Well, there could be a middle ground where he's just a normal person who's like slightly out of reality.
That doesn't explain the alien stuff. I could see a reality in which he's like making it all up for his like own mind or something. But
Well, if you
not-
look at the time period that it sort of looks like Mr. Bean lives in, he's not got flat screen TVs, smartphones.
yeah, it's like
he's got-
1990s. I
He's
think
got
because
he's got brick phones and he's got a box TV.
yeah, it's
Aliens are sort of a new thing in that genre. He's seeing
his-
good alien movies that are being updated with better stuff, and so he's coming into the culture and he's got a fantasy with these aliens and he's imagining them, And perhaps that's why he's been put in a mental asylum. He's tried to imitate these aliens, and he imagines that the
Possibly.
aliens would imitate him.
As well, possibly, because it was written, I think maybe it was like late, really, around when the show was like really picking up. So it was like mid-70s that this show was written, right? So maybe-
The first appearance was 1990.
is it really that? Is it that new? Yeah,
Yeah.
wait, the live action one.
What?
You're on about animation. The TV
No,
show, right?
I'm on Mr. Bean. I'm on the Wikipedia page for Mr. Bean, Brad's character. It says first
Bro,
appearance
Mandela effect.
was in the pilot episode of the British television series Mr. Bean, which was the live action one. 1st of January 1990.
No way.
Perhaps we need to look
No
into the
way.
Mr. Bean extended universe. Right? Perhaps
Wait,
Mr. Bean
Mr.
did
Bean,
not exist prior
There's
to
an
entirety-
1990.
Shh.
There's an EU for Mr. Bean.
Perhaps the entirety of the Mr. Bean world, the animated show, the live action show, perhaps it's all inside Johnny English's head.
What, the
No,
expanded
just
Rowan
a drone
Atkinson universe?
I've just seen something huge. I typed in Mr. Bean debut, and it says that this was says that it was on January 1st, 1990, all right, which I'm very surprised by. It seems really old. But he says that he was pursuing a master's degree in electrical engineering. So this man is obviously smart.
Yeah, like an alien.
Yeah.
Like advanced
What do you
understanding.
What do you mean like an alien?
Well, because he doesn't understand
it's
human
science
culture.
as well. Surely
But he
aliens
is
that
very,
sounds
very
like
good at
Mr.
science.
Bean's
better
had
at
his
science
life
than us.
wasted
They
away
travel to our
searching for it,
planet.
and it said he was pursuing it. He didn't get it. He must have obviously given up on it.
He has a past, doesn't he? If he was really an alien and he's pursuing it,
The
then it
aliens could
means
have created that past artificially.
Edward, that's a bit of a
that's
jump.
just that. That's
Bit of a
that's a
jump.
bit of a jump.
It's less of a jump than the idea that it's all
That-
in his head.
It is, but it is still a bit of a
It's
jump.
less of a
Sure.
jump than the idea that it's all in his head.
I mean, is it really? Have you
Yeah,
seen the
it
Mr.
is.
Bean
Is
film?
it really?
It's so ludicrous.
Yeah, it is.
The Mr. Bean film, right? There's a scene, and
The
there's this.
The hijinks man gets up to.
There's a scene, and it's there's a roller coaster inside, and it's like VR, like you're looking at a screen, and then it's like a 4D cinema as a ride, right? And he goes into the back, and he changes the settings so it's like insane, right? Like if it jolted you forward, it would probably concuss you if you hit the floor hard enough, right? So that's insane. He in this electrical engineering degree confirms that no way an alien would know where it was located unless they'd been here for long enough. If they were here for long enough, then they would have adapted to human culture. An alien that would have grown up for that long would be a human by now. But a mentally diseased man, would he really have like evolved if he had such like a horrible childhood? Because he's
In one
grown up
episode of
in-
the Mr. Bean animated show, right, you can see that he's clearly not as advanced as the aliens we see in the show, as they have spaceships that hover and float and.
Yeah, because he's been sent down there.
But listen, in one of the episodes, you see that he's making all these contraptions, right? He's made like this. He makes like some what? He turns his downstairs neighbor's wheelchair into an RC car for her, and he makes a extension on a telescope, and so that's the limit that he can go to. He doesn't have big a library of skills. It's not like he'd be able to fit in that race that has been sent down with that race of whatever these aliens are. Send down Mr. Artist of the he doesn't even
I'm sorry, I lost that. I couldn't
Yeah.
hear that.
Massive lag.
Was it laggy for you as well?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like that for me. Right.
I
right,
don't
so
think
I'm
that
gonna-
he would have been able to effectively drive a car or effectively either get on a master's course if he was like seriously mentally deranged.
I mean,
It's got
I
an
don't
interesting.
think
Actually.
even
But how do you
if it's
explain
not
this?
in his head,
Perhaps he
Right,
suffered a
if it's not-
concussion, a severe concussion.
or I mean the
I mean, why is he
coma,
never taken to the
coma thing
hospital?
seems just like, oh, we've made like a really crazy character. Oh, he's been in a coma forever. That justifies why he can do all this crazy stuff.
But comas don't do that. You don't forget how
Exactly.
to be a human.
Yeah.
That's not.
I mean, you sometimes do.
What?
Sometimes people wake up and like forget
People-
how to.
But people wake up from a comas and they have like they have like mental problems, right? Yeah. But you just said that it's all going on in his head, so
Furthermore, we might expect him to have some nurse or social worker or doctor, or he go to the hospital at
That
some
can be
point.
explained by
Perhaps
his
you can
Some
girlfriend.
establish his
representation of
Irma,
that.
his girlfriend.
Yeah, Irma.
But that
He
was
has a girlfriend.
He could perceive her as his girlfriend, and he could have that sort of. That's the only way he can
I
trust
don't
her
know.
by
Exactly.
believing she's his
I
girlfriend.
feel like that's kind of a reach, honestly.
I've got.
I wouldn't say that's a
well,
reach. The way she cares for him,
well,
you
not,
don't
I'm
really see
explaining
that
how he's
she's.
got a nurse.
You can see that Mr. Bean is romantically in love with Irma, but you don't really see Irma being romantically in love with Mr. Bean. Big
Yeah,
sisterly
and
love.
she hasn't left him. She hasn't
And
left
she hasn't
him either,
left him
and
after all the things
he's a
he's done.
complete weirdo.
He's a complete wanker, if you pardon the language.
I mean,
If you excuse.
Also, can we talk about
the
can we talk
foul-
about the scene where his where his mini gets crushed by a tank? Can we right,
Government
how do we explain that
assassination
scene?
on Bean because he was a failed genetic clone of an alien, not an alien, an.
I don't know. I feel like. Okay, can we
It was a
establish?
government
that it's-
assassination.
Can we establish that it's more likely for him to be an alien than a clone of an alien?
No,
No, I
we
feel like
can.
the clone of an alien. I feel like the clone of an alien
I feel
is less
like-
of a theory.
I feel like if the government found aliens and had a good specimen, they would
Hang on a
try and
minute. Wouldn't
mimic
a
it.
clone of an alien still be an alien? If it's got all
feel like-
alien
I
DNA.
feel like the strongest theory is that he was abducted by aliens. They copied him as a model human, and that's why there was aliens in the shape of him, and he was just naturally deranged.
What? That's such a massive jump.
It's not just a
Isn't because he
massive
gets
jump.
abducted
You've
by
got to- you've
aliens.
got
It's
to
something you would see
establish-
in Thing. In the Thing, have you seen that movie, The Thing, where the alien like kills
Yeah.
a prey, except this time they're not killing him, by leaving him there.
Actually, it would explain why he's like down on the ground, why he beams down start of episode,
Yeah,
and then
he's
why
been exactly.
I
And it's
suppose
not
so.
like they would leave one of the dumbest members of their race there. They would obviously leave one of the smartest members of their
Yeah,
race
they're all
there
like that,
to
they're all
observe
like
the
that.
humans.
They're all like
No,
that.
you'd leave more than one, and like
Well, we don't know. They
some
might.
parts of
He
the
might
world.
They're
be the only
humanoid.
one in like.
There might be more than
Britain.
one person who's like Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
It's not like
could
we
be
see
in a-
Mr. Bean try to engage in
crap,
like human
Megatron.
activities to
I
an
mean-
extent of which he's trying to gain a knowledge of them.
He tries
It's more
to.
so
just
like he
cannot
tries
do
to
it.
enjoy stuff. It's not like we never see him report back anything to
I mean,
aliens.
maybe he's not like an alien on a specific journey. Maybe he's just an alien having a nice time. You know,
He's not an
all
alien on
aliens are
holiday.
evil.
He's not having a nice
He
time.
might
He's
be an alien
doing.
on holiday.
He's not having a nice
He's
time.
doing
He's
an
locked up in a
engineering
mental
degree.
asylum.
I don't think there's any evidence for him being in.
Why would an alien pursue an engineering degree? Ones that have already
Exactly.
mastered spaceflight.
To experience how humans teach their science. That's an easy
But
answer.
surely our technology in the 1990s would be
Sure, we
primitive to
take
theirs.
art.
Yeah, it would, which makes it all the more interesting. How can this entire society function with such little technology? It's an.
Well,
it's a
surely they
question-
would have functioned with such little technology at some point as well.
I mean, yeah, they did, but they want to see it in the same way that we might study like an Amerindian civilization and in the Amazon in order to gain an understanding for how we used to live when we were like in the Stone Age.
Well, perhaps.
So you're
but why
saying
don't we ever
that
see
the aliens from the future and they're coming from the past and Mr. Bean is from the future?
No, we're not saying that he's from the future. We're saying he's from a more advanced race.
Why would he come here in the pure engineering rather than, like art or just experience the world?
Because
Then
they might have a very
Surely they would have
technologically.
similar societies on their world, though. The way we have less evolved
Well, they might
societies here.
not. They might not.
Do we have less evolved societies?
If we expect that they've been around for longer than us because they're more advanced, then it's possible that all of those like small communities have died out or are so small that they're unrecognizable. Or they're not of exactly the same advancement as humans are. Humans are at a stage of advancement they've never really seen in a.
Wait, hang on. Can we elaborate on something? Has Mr. Bean ever seemed to be religious at any point?
I don't think so.
I guarantee there's got to be an episode where Mr. Bean went to like church or something.
Yeah, if we were ever to have seen Mr.
Like
Bean
he
in
must
church,
like
or
pooed in a prayer book.
perhaps even if a cross or rosary bead or something, that would completely
Mr. Bean
dismiss
religious
the
comedy.
alien theory.
Not necessarily. You could try and.
Mr.
Bean
Bean,
would
has Mr. Bean ever
have
had a
no to
face?
God.
But he would try and understand like human religion, though. It's a massive part of.
But why would he try to understand human knowledge by praying?
What?
The
Surely we
picture of
would
Rowan
see.
Atkinson. Wait,
I'm certain I've seen a
Picture of
picture of
Rowan
Rowan
Atkinson.
Atkinson in a church.
yeah, I found something, but I don't know whether it's Mr. Bean or just Rowan Atkinson.
What's he
Oh,
wearing?
you might. He's wearing like a priest outfit.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
then
no.
no.
Yeah, that's Father Ted, isn't it?
Oh, are you talking about? No, he wasn't on fire. Are you talking about the? He did like a
Nervous
stand up
trainee.
where he dressed in a. Yeah.
Oh, This is Mr. Bean. This is Mr. Bean. I need the video now.
So Mr. Bean's shown to be religious. Christian
No,
religious.
no, he's not religious. He's training to be a priest. It's sending now.
What's this from?
I don't know. He's probably.
Strange.
Oh well, if he's trying to become a priest, that could actually add to the alien theory because he's not just experiencing religion as most people do. He's actually trying to involve himself.
I want to bring out that ideal. You know how he said it was like he's living in an ideal world for himself.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't he have that like? Doesn't he always like have a go at that guy that drives around in like the blue Reliant Robin? Like, why would you make an enemy for yourself in your own like fever dream?
Well, you
'Cause
know,
of
there was
course
that
it's a-
nurse who is
He
that
could possibly
girlfriend.
just be.
That nurse character who was there was that nurse
Perhaps
character
the guy
who
in
in
the
his
blue
world was
car
the
could be
girlfriend.
Mr. Bean's abuser.
Exactly. They could be people from the real world, but just exaggerated. Could be
It
like
could just
Alice
be
in
Mr. Bean's
Wonderland.
abuser, perhaps like his stepdad or something.
Exactly.
And he
Then
would
maybe his
remember it
neighbor
from the
could be
time of
like
when
his
he was
cellmate.
abused, and that's why he wouldn't be like an old man. He would be at the age he would be at when Mr. Bean was a child.
Yeah. Does explain why he acts very childish. He's always like a child. At one point, he even kidnaps a child in the Mr. Bean movie. They get caught on a train with each other.
Yeah, that's the scene where he shows empathy and takes him to his father, isn't it?
Yeah,
I aliens can have empathy.
But surely, if an alien is left home with a child, he's not going to bring it back to his father. He's going to cut him open.
Well, not necessarily. Why do you
He's
think
going to
aliens
try
are
and raise
evil?
him for himself and see
You
how
just
a
have an
normal human.
anti-alien agenda.
I don't think he's evil. I think he's curious. That's the whole reason why he's acting like a child the whole time. If he is an alien, but I
Yeah,
think he's just
exactly.
living in his own. I just think he's living in his own head. I think that it's half real, and there's certain things that are just. I
For
think
certain
that
aspects
he's
of it
insane.
pulled from the
Oh,
real
here's an
world.
interesting thing. In that clip you sent,
Yeah.
do you notice when he's like reading out the prayers and he's speaking in perfect English? But do you notice how he's mocking the style of whatever priest that he's seen, suggesting that he simply adapts to his surroundings rather than actually having his own like voice and stuff?
Or he could just be. Yeah, but why wouldn't a mental patient do that?
But wouldn't
also-
you?
He's also
If
speaking.
someone walked into a room in school and everyone else stood up, surely you would stand up too.
I mean, that's different because he's clearly like very deliberately emulating a style of speech. It's completely different from doing a similar thing. He's like, yeah, he's being very deliberate in this.
Well, people with mental disabilities do try to copy people that they believe to be important.
Yeah, the difference is that he's doing a very good job of it here. I feel like if he had serious mental disabilities, why is it suddenly not showing through in this scene?
I don't know.
No comment.
Interesting.
What does he work as? If he's an alien?
In the
Look at his
clip,
driver's license. Find a picture of his driver's
Yeah.
license.
Yeah, it
He's-
says
he's-
Mister
yeah,
and
I'll-
then B.
in the clip, he says the holy goat, so it's pretty obvious that he's kind of completely delusional about it, and he's just copying someone like Edward says.
Yeah.
How do you explain? How do you explain the his income? How does he earn money?
He's given it by the aliens.
Yeah.
How do you explain that scene in the animated show on the Halloween episode thing where he goes to the cinemas and watches a horror movie and he's scared of aliens? Why would he be scared of aliens?
Because
Because
probably-
he knows
probably
that
because
aliens
the
aren't like that.
Or he's scared of the aliens because it reminds him of the aliens that left him behind.
Maybe
But they haven't left him
he's on the
behind
run.
because on your theory they've
They're
checked
giving
in on
him
him on
money.
the animated
Yeah,
show.
that's a bad argument.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean,
No, he's scared of the aliens because they're not like the aliens that he knows. They're completely different to him. So of course they're like monsters.
Well,
to him.
yes, but surely, our race that he would be visiting is different from him. Surely he would be scared of them, of their differences in the features. But no, when a big man in a blue van tries to argue with him, he'll argue back. He doesn't back down.
Has
He gets
Mr.
scared.
Bean seen a black man? Because
But
that's a
we
very
need
good
to
point.
discuss that. That is a good point. Mr.
No,
Bean.
North Sentinel Island. North Sentinel Island. They're scared of white people. They've never seen white people. They've lived their whole lives around black people. Is he ever? He's in Britain, and there's barely any black people in the show.
I don't understand what the relevance.
Where does he live as well? Is he in
Because-
like rural suburbs or something, or is he in London City?
Rural suburb.
Yeah, they
Are you
probably be
okay?
in like London.
Are you okay, Jamie?
No, I don't know. Waffling them out.
Rural suburb.
I don't know why this is going.
No, because if he's seen a black man, he is surely going to be scared by a black man if he's an alien.
Not
He's a mentally
necessarily.
deranged.
No. Oh, if he's
Thank you, Will.
deranged, he might. Yeah, if he's deranged, he might, but not if he's an alien. If he's an alien, he might understand that humans look different.
Might not though.
But we don't know because we haven't
If
seen
he's
them in
scared
that
about
situation.
aliens, that's because he hasn't seen the alien in it.
No, it's because they
sparring
look
to him.
monstrous.
Yeah, well, both. Actually, to be fair, both an alien and a mentally deranged man would both be scared
They
by
would
aliens.
both be scared of aliens, yeah. They would both be scared of an exaggerated alien film, yeah. A horror
That's a
film.
fake passport.
Well, yeah. Also, it says Mister as the first name. Now,
Oh, there definitely is one from the Mr. Bean film.
now I would expect
What,
that
Mr. Bean?
his
Which
social
Mr.
worker or
Bean?
somebody would be able to put in his
I know, actually, come Mr. Bean.
actual name for his
There's two
passport.
Mr. Bean films. Isn't
I-
there?
I-
There's Mr. Bean's Holiday where he goes to France, and then there's one where he goes to America, isn't there?
Aren't there?
What's
No.
his driving? What's like not his license plate? What does that look like? It's got like a name or something on it. Then it's not registered properly or something. See if he's got like his own thing on the license plate that he's made up inside his head, or he's an alien who's just got a car and it's just a normal license plate.
Wait, what does that
Yeah.
P mean at the bottom of the top? I mean, not the bottom, at the top.
At where?
On his driving license, there's a P above Bean.
I don't know.
Hang on.
Is that his blood type or something?
No, they don't put that on driving licenses, do they?
No, they put it on passports though.
This isn't a. Oh, this is a passport. Yeah,
I think it is a passport, yeah.
but it's like an old style passport.
Yeah.
I don't know what the P means. I don't think it's relevant.
Passport. Well, it's not a real passport anyway because the picture behind it's like it's
I
not.
mean,
an
yeah,
actual
it's obviously
passport
not a
picture.
real passport.
And he's pulling a face on it. They never get through passport control.
Because it's in a film. Which he won't get past that, would he? You agree that he won't get past that?
Yeah, he has to be a registered citizen as well.
He won't get past with that face.
Yeah, it's
You won't be able to
blood
have that face as a passport.
I think.
Which could suggest that it's in his head.
It says type.
I can't really read it, it's too pixely.
No. I'm looking at pictures of passports. It says type/type.
Yeah, it probably is blood type then.
Yeah. And his
Right, so if the
passport
aliens are
also-
giving him money,
his passport
how-
also has like 10 years.
how does the tax man believe that? Is he avoiding taxes?
What?
Perhaps he doesn't need money. Have you seen how much he shops when he goes to the supermarket?
No, but that could just mean that he's on benefits because he's mental.
Yeah, we do see him on like living off scraps as well. He's got like pound.
Yeah,
coins
he's in
to
a very
coin
small
stuff.
apartment as well.
He's hesitant to spend £5 as well.
Apartment
Yeah.
is really bare.
Type people would be hesitant to spend £5.
But if the aliens are giving him money, they're not going to be stingy with the money, are they? Because they're
Yeah,
putting him there to
surely
experience.
Well,
Even if
maybe
would
they
be
can't.
good.
Maybe they can't visit him constantly. It might be quite annoying. With have to pace himself with how much he's spending.
Surely they wouldn't. Surely they wouldn't have him living or even renting, like in a flat.
They might. That's the experience of like a lot of people in where he was living. To
But then they just give him a
experience how
job.
most people do. Well, giving him like a proper job might actually like stop him from like doing as much as he can. So like he doesn't want to be locked into like a regimented lifestyle.
But surely he should try to experience as many jobs as he can to
I mean, he
experience
does.
human
An
lifestyle.
example would be him trying to become a trainee priest. Like that, he does. He tries to go and get things done. Yeah.
What was the reason for him trying to become a trainee priest?
I don't know. I haven't seen the episode before.
Could someone please research it?
It's probably money.
Oh, I
You
reckon he
don't get
went to
much money
I
for being a
reckon he just-
priest.
I doubt it will be for education.
No, I reckon he just ended up like that through some like insane
A wacky.
coincidence.
He went
It's
on
like
a,
it
must
he went
all
on
be
a
in his head.
sesh.
Because Mr. Bean does have bizarre adventures.
Mr. Bean is bizarre.
That's the whole reason why we're here.
I
We just I honestly
And
don't
if
know what to
Mr.
think.
Bean,
I don't think what to say.
how does Mr. Bean explain to the bank rolls money comes? He does go to lift money from
Exactly,
an
I
ATM.
said that.
Yeah.
I said that. How does he get money from the tax man?
I would
How
be
does he
very
explain
surprised
the
if
large
somebody
sums going
as
into his
mentally drained.
bank?
I didn't hear that. Say that
There's
again.
likely a system placed up remotely through the aliens.
But how? Surely that's suspicious.
Yeah, it might be. However, if we understand that, I might expect, okay, if he was an alien, I might expect some officials to be investigating his monetary situation. However, if he were mentally deranged, I might expect some doctors to be inspecting him. I feel like he can go and basically do whatever he wants, and I don't see that kind of being allowed for somebody in his position. He's not like in any way restricted.
Is there ever a scene of Mr. Bean going to the doctors? Could we be able to see how the doctor treats him?
Probably is.
And depending on the way the doctor treats him, we'd be able to know. Because if the doctor treats him perhaps just normally, like a normal patient, or
Okay,
gives
so
him extra care.
Is the
the
hospital,
only
is it?
occasion it happened was when he had stuck in a teapot. So I mean, I feel like if that
Did he say
establishes that he
teapot again?
does acknowledge, even if it's like within his head, he acknowledges the existence of the hospital and that
Edward,
entire
did you say
system,
teapot again?
but somehow he's only in it for this one occasion.
Edward,
Seems a bit
please.
sus to me.
Edward, please.
Edward,
What?
he's got in his
Did you
head
say
stuck in a
teapot again?
teapot.
His hand.
Well, he's got his hand
What
stuck
did he
in a
get his hand
teapot.
stuck in? What did he get?
A
What did he get?
teapot.
Teapot.
Ah,
What is he doing sticking his hand in a teapot in the first place? He's
Wanted to
Clearly
find out
must-
what was inside.
well, Mr. Bean probably was.
Maybe
Yeah,
he
but
dropped
aliens
teapot.
aren't that stupid.
maybe he dropped the tea bag.
We never see him wearing any other clothes. A deranged man must believe that he has no reason to change.
No
Is
one
that, yeah,
alien.
that is.
No one alien.
Indeed.
Maybe.
But if this alien is from such an advanced society, surely they would know that.
Yeah, but his species might not have need for washing.
Surely,
Your species has no need for washing because you stink.
Surely they know they'd stick out if he wasn't clean.
yeah.
No, but
Surely-
what I'm saying is
surely if
maybe
he's
his
that-
society doesn't smell.
Oh, surely if he's that smart though, he'd acknowledge it. I'm not saying he'd pick
There's
it
an
up.
animated series where he finds things pop. So if his society clearly has a sense of smell still. They would have advanced beyond the need for smells themselves.
No, I'm just saying maybe they aren't. They don't personally
Sense of
get
smell,
stinky.
and the sea Pongy himself.
I don't see any reason to believe their species gets pongy.
So is Mr. Bean a different form then?
Well,
Mr. Bean changed forms for Earth.
potentially, but I don't think so. I mean, yeah, obviously, because it's like a representation, but like I think it's quite a widespread thing. But like his internal physiology probably doesn't change that much.
And he would stink.
Well, surely Mr. Bean's been X-rayed before.
Yeah, I was actually just looking that up.
Oh wait, I think that actually happened.
Yeah, it did happen, and he showed a
in the
human
film.
skeleton. However, that could just be part of the transformation.
Part of
Or,
transformation.
or he could be.
Yeah,
it
but if
could
they're
be
that smart, then they'd
humanoid
know that he'd
aliens.
stink.
It could be humanoid aliens. I mean, they
If they're that smart,
Yeah, but then
surely
they'd
they know
stink.
it's good to be hygienic.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is maybe there's no need for them to be hygiene. They just don't, they don't produce waste in their bodies. Or perhaps he just has lots of pairs of that suit. They found it to be the most human suit they could
Well, we do
procure.
produce waste from our bodies. We've seen Mr. Bean
Yeah, but
buying
he
toilet paper
goes
before.
shopping. He goes places. He wants to experience the world. Surely he'd buy fashionable clothes because
Maybe
his peers
not.
don't wear
Maybe-
stuff like that.
Maybe the concept of fashion is something that he hasn't yet onto.
Yeah, but you said that he adapt the priest, but he doesn't adapt to what people wear around him.
Well, that's a different thing because that's like an.
It's not a different thing.
Well, I'm going to
Different thing.
explain why it's a different thing. So that's like something that's very easy to copy. It's a definite thing that he's heard before, and he even messes it up a little bit. The whole idea of fashion and what's acceptable to wear and what's not acceptable to wear is a much more confusing thing. And I could see him just choosing to wear something which he knows people don't necessarily like immediately react badly to. It's just like a normal set of clothes, and you might have lots of them.
Why does he carry around a briefcase? Surely he knows what people that carry around briefcases are child fiddlers.
No, they do. In the 1990s, they do. And they still do, to be honest. Also, I don't know why, the past, 20 minutes have been stupid, because he does shower, he does bath,
He bathes.
He bathes.
He does bath. Oh my god, Edward, you're supposed
Sorry.
to be smart.
I'm in debate mode.
He does bath.
There
I've
are
refrained from
scenes.
using our real names.
I remember this scene. There's a scene, and I remembered it. That's why I've got it up. Right.
Right,
There's a
jammed up.
scene in the there's a scene in the film where he's packing a suitcase for holiday, and he fills an entire layer full of beans. Now he's called Mr. Bean, isn't he? Right. So maybe in alternate world, he's called like John Smith, and he just imagines himself as Mr. Bean, or maybe he's
His face-
Bean, and because
Why does his
make it-
passport have Mr. Bean on it then?
it's all in his head.
I mean,
'Cause it's in
anything's
his head.
possible if it's all in his head.
How's it in his head though?
Because he's a
How's it
mentally
not in his
deranged
head?
patient. How is he an
Anything's
So
alien?
much stuff in Mr. Bean that's out of
Because
this real world, and
there's
I
lots
think
of references to aliens in it.
Do we ever see
think-
political
Rowan
figures?
If you Google, Rowan Atkinson has said that he thinks he's either been abducted by aliens or is it like a clone of an
But
alien.
he didn't write the show.
Yeah, but he plays the main
I'm
character in the
pretty
show.
sure. I'm pretty
And
sure he
It
had a
matter if
part
he
in
plays
And I'm
it.
pretty sure he has a creative influence over it, considering he wrote like.
he is
Black
actually the
Panther and
writer,
stuff like that.
Yeah, written
think he's
by
the writer.
like 3 people and the Rowan.
Yeah, jam dog. Get destroyed by facts and logic. No reply now, is there, Lid?
I will smear your face off every floor on this road.
So what is the beans thing? What's the beans on about? Why is he
Right,
called Mr.
okay,
Bean?
so I can explain the beans. And the
Explain
reason,
the beans.
well, maybe
Explain
at
the
the
beans,
time,
Eddie.
he just had a particular obsession with beans.
That he named it. Wait, surely he changed his name from Mister.
Well, not necessarily.
Yes, necessarily, because no one else has the first name Mister. No, I've
It's
thought
not
that.
yeah,
like
They
the
shouldn't-
he's
aliens
an
alien.
wouldn't see what people would introduce themselves as. People don't introduce themselves as Mister. They introduce themselves with a first name.
Maybe
Exactly.
they
They
So,
wanted to go
maybe
for
they
you're
formality.
telling me, right? The logic of this aliens is we send him, we give him human money every few months or so he can survive. We give him clothes, we give him food, but we don't give him a suitable name.
They don't give
or
him
change
food.
his
He
name
has to go
slightly.
shopping for it.
But they don't give him food.
Further
They
producing
don't give him food,
if
but they
the
just
aliens
happen
were
to
supplying
name
him
him.
with stuff, they wouldn't supply him with they would supply
just-
him with food, but
he
they
wants
don't.
to get because he wants to no
But they
because he
just-
wants to get
Just
genuine
happen
human.
to name him Mr. Bean.
Surely
wants to-
shopping once would be sufficient enough. He shopped enough times in his lifetime to be able to know how it is because he goes there and knows what to do every single
Not
time.
necessarily, but maybe the aliens can't like reproduce human. They don't have access to human plants and human meat.
Well, surely if they can do what space travel, right, from at
Oh,
least beyond our reach, right,
Right.
they would be able to at least copy some of Earth's environment and grow some food. If Mr. Bean can breathe on Earth, then surely that means that his planet also
Yeah, that's a good
uses
point.
oxygen, and so
Yeah,
it would
but-
There are
also be a
countless
sustainable
planets that
living
use
environment.
oxygen as a source of.
I mean, if we're
Green.
assuming that his biology has been modified in order for him to blend into human society,
Yeah, what
then
about the
maybe-
atmosphere as well?
What?
What do you mean?
Surely the atmosphere would be different. Pressure.
Yeah,
Well, his
If he's an
biology's
alien.
been changed.
Yeah, he's got human biology, so
but we see the other aliens that you suspect come down
Because
to see him.
they've all changed in order.
surely-
So
It would
If
be
some humans-
suspicious.
if some humans come along, then all they'll see is just some people who look the same. They'll think it's a bit weird, but they won't think it's aliens. But if they came down in their true alien forms, then they might die because of atmosphere and stuff.
Right, we're gonna have to wrap up this soon because it's been going on for quite a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think
I think we've
this
put
has
a
been.
lot of
We need
good
to come
ideas
to
out
an
there.
we need to come to an end result.
Not necessarily, but I
Yeah,
think
no,
we've-
this has been
I could just
45
leave it
minutes.
on a
it's been
viewer.
a good discussion.
On
I
a
think-
Do we
viewer.
leave it
Both
up to the viewers?
I think we do leave it up to the viewers. I think both sides have put across some good information.
We'll leave it up to the viewer's interpretation,
The
and if you
consumers
could
decide.
please leave your ideology in the comments.
I'll put a
Maybe
poll,
not the
hopefully.
whole
Oh no, you can't do polls
ideology
anymore.
of
Actually,
yours, but perhaps
yeah, just let us know in the comments
comment.
your thoughts.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So like this
Just
video
comment
if you want to see
human
more.
or alien.
Yeah,
This has
me
been
and
fun.
Mr. Bucket are gonna be doing.
Or perhaps if you have something
More
else
podcasts.
radical, perhaps
We're
like
trying to get back on
robot or
track.
anything. Just
Yeah, maybe if you have an interesting enough theory and you back it up, then we might invite you on the podcast.
yeah, we wouldn't perhaps.
In which, thank
Okay.
you for our guests,
Are
Edwards
Pleasure being
and
here.
Thank you, Edward and Jamie.
Pleasure being here.
And Jam Dog.
A-bomb.
NVM.
Thank you.
all right.
Alright.